So I thought I'd take some time and update you on the annual meeting that was held last Sunday. We had a fairly small turnout for the number of people who are actual members of Good Shepherd, but that's to be expected. That tends to be the case on annual meeting or during annual meetings. Although I would encourage you, if you're a member, it is your responsibility to take part in and ownership over your role in the church. So I hope next year we'll have more. Although I will say it is a sign of health. I mean, in my experience, the most well-attended annual meetings are those that the most contentious issues are being dealt with. That there's some problem in the church that needs to be fixed, and so in general, in times of peace and health, there are low turnouts for annual meetings. So in that sense, it's something to be thankful for. We elected 4 people. Jason Carlton was elected to the office of Junior Warden. Now, Junior Warden is a person who deals with property issues in particular. He doesn't always fix things himself, but he is responsible for making sure things are running well. So if you see that the sidewalks haven't been shoveled after a snow, or water is dripping on your head from the roof during the service, you can't hear the microphone up in the or the speakers up in the sanctuary, or you see the floors haven't been mopped or swept or vacuumed, then he's the guy you'd go to. You say, I have noticed this problem, and he would pass it on to the vestry, and the vestry would find a way to deal with that. So Jason Carlton is the guy you go to. Liz Hull, Hal Hallam, and Jerry Shriver were also elected to 3-year terms on vestry. And I guess not just 4, but 5, because Ben Shelton, who's already been serving, was re-elected for another 3-year term. Now, those 4 vestry members, not all of them were voted in to begin a new term. Ben stepped in last year. He was appointed by the vestry because of the vestry member he stepped in for had retired or resigned, and so we had to appoint someone mid-term. Now, I know you probably don't know who these, well, some of you anyway, don't know who these people are because we're a growing church, and that just happens. You know names maybe, but not faces, or you know faces and not names. What we're planning to do is put together a pictorial directory of our vestry, so you'll know who these people are, what they look like, and you'll have some contact information on there for you if you want to get in touch with them. So that took place. We elected those people to vestry and Jason as junior warden. We also reviewed the budget, and I'll say it was a very encouraging thing, because for the first time I can remember, we have a budget that calls for an income, or that estimate or expects an income of over $300,000, and that's it's a conservative budget. Last year we budgeted to get $260,000, and we got $290 something. God really blessed us. God has been graciously opening the gates of His storehouse, and just really filling us with financial gain, and we're very, very pleased and thankful for that. And it's allowed us to do a number of things that we didn't think we would do. Last year, for example, we hadn't budgeted for that one half of the parking lot to be redone, which was a very costly project. But we were able to do it because we came in over $20,000 over what we estimated to receive for our budget. This year, we're planning on doing a number of things. We're going to hopefully do the next half of the parking lot. We're going to do work on the microphone system, the audio system upstairs in the sanctuary, because I know that the sound sometimes does drop out for some of you. So we're going to see if we can work on that. And we're also going to build one classroom, and just see if we get more in, like we did last year. We might do some more things. So the budget itself is, if you weren't at the meeting, you were, as a member of Good Shepherd, that's an open thing. So if you would like to see the budget, review what the vestry has voted on and put forward for 2014, you can talk to Mark Dreher, who's our treasurer, and he'll be happy to give you a copy of this year's budget. And the copy that we passed out at the annual meeting was just a basic rundown of the figures. He will also be happy to go into more detail with you, because again, it's an open book. That's your right to know as a member of Good Shepherd. So please don't hesitate to ask about that. We also took some time to go over some of the numbers with regard to membership at Good Shepherd, and more encouraging stuff. Last year we had an average Sunday attendance of 133. This includes both services. This year we had an average Sunday attendance of 155, which is a gigantic jump, bigger than we've had in many, many years. And what that tends to play out is we have about 170 or so people who come regularly to Good Shepherd, but because seasonal changes, not all of those 170 come at once. So you'll have this during the time the students are here, the church will be fuller than it is in the midwinter and in the summer when they're gone. But we have of those regular people who most often come, I'm not counting members here, I'm talking attendees. About 170 people who regularly show up at church on a routine basis. I also mentioned that we had, of the those who are members and counted as such, about 144. We have about 87% of those who right now are in Christian Ed, Bible study, or mission group, which is excellent. That is a big increase from last year, which was a very good sign. So again, God is blessing us. About 26 or so people were added to our attendees list, people who just regularly come. Some of those became members. We had a great big confirmation and reception service, and we also had one of our first new member classes this year, and that was also very encouraging. Not something we see. We've always seen growth. We see growth every year for the last 10 years. We've had people come in, and the numbers have increased. But this year was a significant jump. So again, thanks be to God for that. And I think that's what happens when a church is devoted to teaching and understanding and seeking God's Word and God's truth, and obeying and loving His Son. So all of this is due to the grace of God, and we're so very thankful to Him for the great things this year. One more thing I wanted to mention is that the vestry meetings that are held once every month on the third Wednesday of the month at 6:30 are open meetings. They're not executive, they're open. So if you have an issue, usually the vestry is the body that takes care of financial decisions, spending the money that we have. So if you have a question, or you have a concern, or you have a proposition of some kind, or you just want to watch, you're more than welcome to come to that meeting. It's always in the parish hall downstairs. So I'd encourage you to be there if you can. So that's a brief review of the annual meeting. I look forward to seeing you this Sunday, and that's it.